Right now I'm going to talk about what makes a good game. Do you work with young learners?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you raise your hand who works with? Okay, now do you work with teens? Very good. So when we work with young learners, everything looks like this. Yeah? It's all fun, it's all joy, and we play games all the time. Because we know that when you play games, playing is the only thing you can do with young learners. But when you go from young learners to teens, when you go from primary school to secondary school, usually your room looks like this. Am I right? Yeah. Okay, do you play with your teens just as much as you do with young learners? No. No, why not? Yeah. You don't have time. Is it the only reason? Curriculum? No time, curriculum. I think it's a topic for another talk to explain you where to find time for playing games and how can you do any exercise from your course book how can you turn any exercise into a game. But sometimes teachers say that students don't like games because they are too old. Yeah. And they say that this is something childish. Yeah? Am I right? Yeah. Okay, but what do your teenage students do when they don't do their homework? When they're at home, what do? They play games. And why do you think that they don't like playing games? Maybe you don't play real games with them. Because every time they don't work, they don't do their homework, they play games, and they look much happier when they play games than they do English homework. I think that we English teachers don't really understand what a game is. Okay? Sometimes say, okay, let's play a game, and we think that any interactive activity can be called a game. I ask my colleagues, do you play games with your students? Yes, I do. What do you do? I give them cards. I give them colorful cards. Are cards games? Do you play games like this with your teenage students? Yeah? Really? Okay, let's have a look. So what do you have to do here? So you roll a dice and you move your counter along this field. As a player, do you influence the game in any way? No, you don't. And if you are older than 6, you know that you can't do any magic to your dice. So nothing depends on you. And this is very discouraging. And those people who are older than 6, they don't like games like this. Okay, because, a dice is a randomizer. Another thing about games like this, you put your count on one of the squares, and then you read the question. If you can answer the question, you can stay on this square. If you can't answer the question, you have to get back. Is it a game or is it just an English exercise? It's just a test. Where is the game? Okay, just think about it. So, it's just another way of doing boring tests. But there is nothing from the game in activities like this. Do you use Kahoot? Yes. Do you call it a game? No. No, very good. Yeah, it's a test. Because you either know the correct answer or you don't know the correct answer. It's a puzzle, it's not a game. That's why teenage students, they say, okay, so if you have big students in your group, they can't answer these questions. And they are not interested in these games. If you have very strong students who always know all the answers, they don't see any point in playing this game because they know they will win. That's why they refuse playing games like this. Okay? So, testing, not learning in these games. So what I'm going to talk about, very often you do some kind of activity. For example, you can play the game slap. Yeah? You've got cards on the table and you say a word and you have to slap the correct flashcard. And then to get a point, you need to make a sentence with this word. Just imagine, Akinfeev, he did this brilliant kick. Do you remember? And then the referee comes up to him and say, can you explain me the trajectory of the ball? Then I will give you a point. This is what you do with your students. When you award points for grammatically correct answers, what's the point in the previous activity when they did their best to get the correct cut? Game designers call our educational games broccoli and chocolate. Because we care too much about broccoli. We think only about our target language. And we call any interactive activity, any activity a game, which is not really a game. Because we just add some chocolate to look it game-ish. Huh? But they are not real games. Because what makes a real game? I like this, and I show this slide every time almost in any of my presentations. So what are games? Games are a series of meaningful, of interesting decisions. We work with students who started playing games at the age of 1 or 2. They've played the best games created by the best game designers in the world. And they've got a very huge gaming experience, much bigger than you do, because you teach all the time, you don't have time to play games. Yeah, but they do. They spend about 25, 30 hours a week playing games. And they know what is a game. And, well, when you bring them in you say, okay, my students don't like playing games. The only reason is it is not a game. So be very careful when you choose a game. Okay, this is a picture from one of the bookshops in London. You see the title, English Language Games. I couldn't find a single real game on this stand. They are all activities. So when you choose a game, what do you usually pay attention to? Target language, beautiful pictures, age, but you should pay attention to the game mechanics. What kind of interesting, meaningful choices your students will make in this game? How interesting it will be for a student? How can they achieve their goal in this game? Okay, have a look at this slide. Bingo, snakes and ladders, Spellmanism. There is only one real game on this in this list. Which one? Bingo! Does anything depend on you as a player in bingo? No. It's just the same as, well, so you can't influence it at all. Pellman is memory game. Pellman is memory game, Yeah, Mama, this is the only example of a real game. Because you can think, you can work out a strategy. You can work out a strategy when you play bingo or snakes and ladders. Okay? If it is a good game, it doesn't depend on your, it doesn't matter whether you're clever or you're not so clever. So if you know how to play the game, and if you can try this strategy or that strategy, and you can win this game, well, this is a good one. So there are a lot of game mechanics. So pay attention to the game mechanics. Don't pay attention to beautiful pictures, and don't pay attention only to the target language. Okay, and I believe, and well, I don't know, I'm sure that in StudyCraft we make real games. So if you haven't had a chance, come out to our stand, StudyCraft, and you have a chance to play some good games. Okay? 5 minutes? Okay, that's because I've got some more slides, thank you. And I was just thinking if I've got time. Just a few games. They are all made on one game mechanic, which is called quarters. And what I like about this game mechanic, well, you don't test your students, you teach them how to use this or that phrase inside the game. So while playing, they have to repeat one and the same same structure, to drill the structure, and they will remember the structure by the end of the game. Okay, and just a couple of more words. Do you play role plays with your students? Teens. Adults. What about teens? Do you play role plays with teens? Yes? Do they like them?
Yes.
Okay. Usually kids really love them because they don't go shopping, they don't go to the doctors. Adults are more or less okay with these games because they understand why they have to do it. Okay, I'm going to London next week and I will have to go shopping. Okay, they understand the reason. What about teens?
No motivation.
No motivation. You are a shop assistant, your 14-year-old peer is a customer. Role play. Oh, it is very embarrassing for them. So, but you can add an element of a game to it. For example, if you give a role card where there are some restrictions, some limitations, the color that you like, your clothing size, your budget, and you've got, for example, 6 rounds to buy as many things as you can in your shop, then it will turn a role play into a role play game, because when you've got this goal and you've got these restrictions, you can think about the strategy of how you can win in this game. Okay? This game is called Black Friday. It is real hit because well, last month we sold everything. I sold even my old copies, but we printed some more, so you still got a chance to get them. So these are my teenage students playing games. So we work on grammar and we play Zombie, which we made with Elena. I don't know if she's here in the room. Okay, and always remember to have fun. So if you don't enjoy these games, your students won't enjoy these games. And maybe you know other ways how to motivate them. But if you love playing games, if you play games when you don't teach, then your students will enjoy. Okay, thank you for your attention, and then I invite you to our study craft stand.
Thank you very much.